Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Carl from Planet 40k. Today we're going to be discussing one of the new units that should be coming out alongside the new codex, the Lokhust Destroyers. Okay, so the Lokhust Destroyers will be coming in squads of up to 3 models and each one costing 4 power level or 70 points. So let's quickly run through their stat line. Movement 8-inch, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 5, wounds 4, attacks 2, leadership 10 and a 3+ save. Okay, so not a bad stat line there. It sort of falls into a similar vein of stats as the regular heavy destroyers. Both of these coming in squads of 3, similar movement, similar stats in general, just the extra wound difference for the Locust. I feel like these Locusts are replacing the regular destroyers, and I'm pretty sure they just want to get rid of all the models with the green plastic Gorse rods from their range. Okay, so from the datasheet photo, there doesn't appear to be any abilities yet for this unit, which is a little bit odd. I'd expect sort of reanimation protocols at the very least, but maybe they aren't getting it, who knows? Maybe it's why they've got an additional wound. They have the Lokhust Heavy Destroyer keyword, which would suggest that an ability could affect them from somewhere within the codex, whether it be a stratagem or possibly a Locust Destroyer Lord, who knows, but the keyword isn't just Destroyer, it's Locust Destroyer. So the Extermination Protocol stratagem, for example, won't work on these guys because they're not just Destroyers, unless of course they amended the wording in the new codex. Okay, let's move on to their weapon analysis. So they can carry one of 2 weapon choices, the first being the Gorse Destructor. This is a 36-inch range, heavy 1, strength 10, -4 AP and 3d3 damage. So this is a serious heavy weapon, guys. It's only one shot at 36 inches, but that strength 10 is going to be wounding even your toughness 5, harder targets on a 2+, and pretty much everything else on a 3+. The -4 AP leaves barely any room for saves, and the damage is a bit of an oddball at 3d3, but the absolute minimum damage you'll do if you wound with this weapon is 3. And the best case scenario is you're going to be dealing 9, with an average being 6 damage. So that's a really strong gun, and with a ballistic skill of 3+, with 3 models in the unit, 2 of them should be hitting on average. That's providing you haven't moved, as it is a heavy weapon after all, and you are infantry. They may be getting the special rule where they can fire and move heavy weapons like the standard destroyers, but we'll have to wait and see on that. There's a little combo you could do here with a Triarch Stalker, which gets you to reroll the 1s, and also an Overlord, which is when they use their My Will Be Done, it was +1 to their hits. So effectively making their ballistic skill a 2+, re-rolling the 1s. So something to think about there. This gun, I'd probably be using it against those heavy armored targets, tanks, dreadnoughts, anything that requires a large gun to crack them. If you do get a chance to fire it at HQ, then do so, as you'll blow it off the board. Obviously you need to pass through the invuln, but with the average damage being 6, if you get one through, it's going to do the job. So the second option here is okay. It's an Enigmatic Exterminator, also a 36-inch range. It's a heavy 3d3, strength 7, -1 and 1 damage. So another 36-inch range here. Again, it's heavy, so hopefully you'll get the move and shoot heavy like the other destroyers do. So in terms of how many shots, it's 3d3. So the minimum you're going to be getting is 3, maximum being 9, and the average of 6 shots. Strength 7 isn't a bad strength, as most vehicles are around toughness 6 or 7. So you will be wounded on 4s at worst. But against toughness 8 vehicles and monsters, it's going to be a bit useless, as you're now wounded on 5s. And the -1 AP isn't all that great. I would have expected a bit more of a minus AP modifier with it being an exterminator after all, with a strength 7 strength, so is what it is. And single damage too, not that great. So this gun is more about quantity over quality, really. So with the law of averages, you can maybe work out what sort of damage you're going to be doing before rolling the dice, whereas the Gorse Destructor is quite hit or miss. So it's not that consistent unless you're using that combo, like I said before. But obviously the payoff is much better with the Destructor. The -1 AP on the Exterminator is a bit puzzling, as it almost feels like an anti-horde weapon, because you'll use that -1 AP to knock off those 6+ armor save units like Orc Boys, for example. But the strength 7 is a bit overkill. Then again, if you've got 3 of these guys averaging 6 shots each, you're now talking 18 shots that are hitting on 3s, so approximately 12 hits are getting there. And against Primaris Marines, you'll need 3s to wound, so you'll score on average 8 wounds at -1 AP. This should result on averaging 2 dead Primaris Marines. But is that worth the points? I'm not really sure. So I'm going to quick look at the new dynasties that are coming out in the codex. You've got Mefrit, which is a +3 inch to all the ranged weapons except for pistols, and an additional -1 AP if you're within half range when you're shooting. This is going to be giving both of those guns a 39-inch range. You'll be getting a -5 AP on the Ghost Destructor or a -2 AP on the Exterminator. The Nefrit Dynasty code gives you a 6+ invuln save, and it also lets you advance 6 inches without needing to roll, but you should not be advancing these guys really. You want to be making the most out of their shots. But the invuln can help slightly, I guess. But the big one here though is the Zwakan Dynasty, giving a 5-up feel no pain against mortal wounds. But more importantly, each time you shoot or fight, you can re-roll 1 wound roll dice. So especially with that Ghost Destructor, each successful dice roll is crucial, and this code basically gives you a free reroll rather than using your command points. So you could just command reroll the hits, and then with the wounds use the Dynasty code. So it's going to give you a much better chance of scoring that big damage. Overall, points for points, I think they're very expensive for what they do. They will get picked off very early with your opponent's heavy artillery. There's no current abilities such as living metal or reanimation protocols, which kind of is what makes the destroyers worth it, because they can come back, especially with a cryptek nearby to aid the roll. So 3 of these costing 210 points. Is it worth it? Let me know in the comments if you do think it's worth it. I'm not really that convinced. I think it's a bit expensive. As for the weapons themselves, the Ghost Destructor as a weapon is badass. I mean, I love the strength 10, -4 AP and 3 damage. But the 6 damage average is pretty nice. And if you have all 3 of them in the unit and 2 of them hitting, providing that they're both wounds, you could be doing 12 wounds. So you could be taking out a large vehicle in 1 turn. If you get first turn, then this gun is mega OP, as you simply pick a target, take it out. But if you're not getting turn 1, then you need to pray that your opponent doesn't get to them before you can use them in your turn. Otherwise you're toast, and 210 points just goes down the pan. The Exterminator is a weird one. I'm not convinced about it. Like I said earlier, averaging 18 shots for a 3-man unit. Should be getting about 12 hits, wounding everything toughness 6 or less on 3s. Approximately 8 wounds there. Like I've already said, it's 2 Primaris that are going to be dead. Or it could just kill, say, 8 Orc boys. But whether it was strength 7 or strength 5, it's doing the same amount. It's doing the same job. So I don't know why it's strength 7. The only thing I can think of is it could damage light vehicles, I guess, but you're paying 210 points for that privilege. So if I was to get this unit, I would want the Ghost Destructor 100%, or at least as it currently stands, because those guns have got some oomph to it. And if you're extremely lucky and get 3 hits and 3 wounds through, you can do a max damage of 27 damage. That's pretty insane. But as I said, you really need turn 1 to ensure that you get to use them, because they won't be on the board for long. You'll be lucky to get another turn with them. One suggestion I'd have is using them from strategic reserves, as then you're guaranteeing at least 1 turn of shooting. Okay, you do lose the first turn of shooting, but realistically, they're not going to be on the board for 5 turns, guys. So guaranteeing at least 1 turn is vital. Plus, you can bring them on into a position where they could maybe survive an extra turn or 2, or maybe even try and get them into cover. Do whatever you can to keep them alive for an extra turn is my suggestion. So overall, guys, it's a tricky one here. I think I'm going to be giving them a Planet 40k rating of 3.5 with a potential of 4 or even 4.5 if the abilities come in the codex. But as the datasheet stands right now, I can't go past the 3.5 simply due to their price and their lack of survival abilities. So let me know, guys, in the comments below whether you agree or not with this rating and review. We love hearing your comments, and we try to respond to pretty much all of them at the moment. If you enjoy these type of videos, please drop us a like below, and remember to subscribe for future videos like this. We will be doing a deep dive into each unit once the codex does come out. So if you haven't seen our previous reviews of the units from the Indominus box set, go check them out. There should be a playlist on our channel, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.